What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Tim in Green Bay, here to talk some Green Bay Packers. Talk a little training camp preview. I see we got a bunch of people in the chat already. Thank you all so much for making us a part of your holiday weekend. Hopefully you've had an awesome 4th of July so far. I know there's more fireworks that are going to be going off here. Tim, one thing about 4th of July down here in Tennessee, man, the volunteer state, this stuff carries over about 2 weeks. People are blowing stuff up for 2 weeks down here, man. How you doing, Bob?
I was going to say, did it start a few days ago and it's going to go for another few weeks? We party like that up here in Green Bay, too. Shout out to my neighbors. Had the fireworks going until about 2 a.m. last night. It was awesome, and I'm sure if the rain holds out, we'll get another night tonight for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. See, like I said, everybody following in. We got Rob Westerman in the house. Good to see you, buddy. We got Mac in here. We got Mr. Larry Cano. Here's what we're going to do on the Mac giveaway, guys. We're going to run it through this week and then compile the names. We're going to give it away next Saturday, the autographed Dorsey 11s jersey, okay? So if you guys want to try to get in a last-second donation to that cause, just go to my Twitter account, at Packers_access. You'll see a tweet that's pinned at the top of the page. That link that's in that tweet, if you want to give to an awesome cause, which is my Autism Connection, building hope, community, and independence for autistic adults. For every $5 you donate, your name will be entered into the hat one time. We'll put everybody's name on there, spin that sucker, and we will give away an autographed Dorsey 11s jersey. Again, that is givebutter.com/KRPSJ5. And been awesome partnering up with Max. So, Mary, if you're in the house, I think you're in the chat. Be prepared for that. You and I will compile those names next week. And at the end of the week on Saturday, we'll do that giveaway, either Saturday or Sunday, depending on when we do the live stream. So, Tim, without further ado, whatever the heck that means, man, let's get into tonight's topic, dude. And that's going to be the 10 biggest questions before Packers training camp starts, man. I thought there was some really, really cool stuff in here. We're just going to kind of dive into it and give you guys a little bit of a training camp preview by talking about some of the questions we may or may not have geared around the Packers training camp. That makes sense. So let's just dive right in. The Green Bay Packers face a massive shift. For years, the secondary had an identity in Jair Alexander, but now he's gone. The team released its 2-time All-Pro cornerback, a move that sent ripples through the team and fan base. He wasn't the only veteran defensive back to walk, making this a significant change for a team with sky-high expectations, with big holes, young talent, and a tough schedule. The 2025 season could hinge on the answers found in training camp. Today, we're breaking down the 10 biggest questions facing the Packers. These are the storylines that will define this team, define if this team can build on last year's success. And we're starting with the most glaring issues. So if this is your first time tuning into PTA, thanks for making us a part of your day and a part of your holiday weekend. Listen, we're not experts here. We're not insiders. You can tell that by the accent and my voice. We're just fans like you. We're fans of the Packers. We go live daily, talking everything Green Bay. We hit on pregame shows. We do postgame shows. We do film breakdown, which we're going to break down a chalk talk tonight at Josh Jacobs' explosive runs from the 2024 season. All that stuff, breaking news all year long. We're also going to be diving into training camp coverage as soon as it cranks up here around, some of the players report on the 18th. However, the majority of the players will be in-house on the 23rd. So what we're going to be doing is every evening giving you everything we learned about that training camp practice earlier that day. And, Tim, I don't know about you, man. That was one of my favorite things to do so far, especially when we catch a training camp practice that's open on a Saturday and just go live during it or immediately as it's wrapping up and get all the updates in real time. It's awesome, man. So I know you're going to be boots on the ground at training camp for some of those practices as well, man. It's going to be exciting.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's not, it might be Christmas, I guess, but this is kind of like our Christmas, man. Training camp. There was a point in my life when I used to be a fan that would say, it's just preseason. It's camp. And then you get addicted when you start really learning how a team is formulated and you see guys getting cut. You see guys stepping in. We'll get a few random free agents that show up off the street that are going to be some camp bodies, the whole shebang. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'll be hanging out as close to the fence as I can get. And I might try and jump it if I can. We'll see. I'll do the best to get some video and some shots of what I'm able to. And we'll break it down every day.
Yeah, we got a rule. Tim, get as much as much knowledge, as much footage as you can, but do not get the handcuffs slapped on you. So let's push it to the limit, but never get banned from Packers practice for sure. So,
absolutely.
Again, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you know every time we go live. We appreciate you all this evening. All right, let's jump into it, man. Number one question, Tim. Who emerges as the starting cornerbacks after the roster overhaul? This is question number one. With the Jair Alexander era over and 2021 first-rounder Eric Stokes signing with the Raiders, the Packers aren't just looking for a cornerback, too. They're building an entirely new starting lineup. The strategy is clear. Get younger. They signed versatile free agent Nate Hobbs, and obviously the versatility comes with him being able to play the slot, who gives DC Jeff Hafley flexibility. He'll compete with young talent like all-pro returner Keyshawn Nixon, who's expected to take on a larger defensive role, and Carrington Valentine, a 2023 seventh-rounder who showed legitimate promise. Beyond them, it's a question mark, with seventh-round rookie Micah Robinson from Tulane being an unknown, and Kalen King trying to break into the 53-man roster as well, who was a seventh-rounder last year, who did not make the final 53, although he did get a little bit of playing time as the year went on, being on the practice squad. This camp battle isn't for depth. It's to find a starting combo that can survive against the NFC's elite receivers. So, man, that's the big question. You know, Javon Bullard started in the slot last year for the most part. He had to kick back out to safety when Evan Williams got a little banged up down the stretch. When you're talking about the starting cornerback room, Tim, that's the question I think that's on the forefront of most Packers' minds, right? And we got the PFF grades right here from everybody who's returning. I want to get your take on it first, and then I'll give my take of who I think the starting three should be. And the reason we say starting three, gang, is because we're going to be in that nickel 4-2-5 about somewhere between 70 and 80% of the snaps. And obviously it's a zone-heavy approach as well there from Hafley last year. But, Tim, you have the floor, sir. What do you think, man? Who emerges as starting cornerbacks after the roster overall?
Read this list top to bottom. Carrington Valentine, Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs. There's your corners. I hate to be boring, but at least, again, you know, we're not even at camp yet, so we'll see how things develop as this team gets put together. But honestly, I think it's going to be CV, it's going to be Keyshawn, and it's going to be Nate Hobbs. Those are going to be your top three. That's just early feelings on the matter.
Yeah, I like what Daryl says. Stokes wasn't that good in the last 2 years, only to have a younger corner outperform him on every play. Completely agree, Daryl. And that's why when I see, you know, Stokes walking free agency, not a big deal, right? I know this catch a lot of hell for this over Jair Alexander's departure. You guys know I said for $6 million, which is what we could have had him back at, I would have loved to have had Jair back. I think that's money well spent. However, I'm not going to sit here and kid myself into thinking that he was just all-world player the last, couple of years. It just wasn't the case, Now, could he return to his all-pro form if that's the case? Heck yeah, man. It's worth a little bit of a headache and the disagreements that goes along with it. But, yeah, I completely agree with you, Daryl. Stokes did not play well, man. Did not play well at all. Randy Cleaver's in the chat, says CV, Hobbs, and Nixon. I'm with you and Tim, Randy. And like he said, man, when you look at the PFF grades going from top to bottom, Carrington Valentine is the highest graded cornerback that's returning this year with a 65.5. Keyshawn Nixon is second at 64.1. Nate Hobbs is third at 61.4. And then Javon Bullard coming in fourth there at a 54.2. And then you see no grades for the rest of these corners, Tim. So guys that haven't had a whole lot of experience, man, right? So when I look at the cornerback room from top to bottom, I think it's going to be Carrington Valentine, starting at right cornerback, Keyshawn starting at left cornerback, Nate Hobbs playing the slot, Javon Bullard's going to be in the bullpen, ready to come out to play safety or slot if somebody gets banged up, breaks a shoelace, whatever it may be. I think that's how it'll line up. Now, when you go to your base, that's going to be the big question. Does Carrington Valentine stay on the field, or does Keyshawn Nixon stay on the field? And the reason I say it's because I think we all agree with the money that Nate Hobbs is going to be getting paid this year, Tim. He's going to stay on the field for that base defense just like he did for the Raiders, I would imagine. And again, PFF grades aren't everything, guys. This is just a quick metric we can look at. Now, I will say this. When the PFF grades, you got a guy at the top, and then you look at the passer rating when targeted, and you got a guy at the top, and then you look at his run defensive snaps, and boy, oh boy, did he impress. People like Carrington Valentine, that's when you earmark those, Tim, and go, hey, this is the dude. But what do you think about the base defense, man? Who are going to be the corners there?
I think CV could stay on the field if we see that run D come up a little bit. If he adds that to his game and improves in that category, I mean, we're looking at PFF grades right now. That is probably the sorest spot of his game. Now, obviously, a dude like that, you're you're not overly concerned, right? You want him to be at least decent or effective in the run, and you want his coverage skills to be what we've seen with him as a boundary corner. But when you're talking base, yeah, if you're going to be just that guy, you got to be effective against, the occasional run for sure in the base. So I would think that would be kind of one part of his game he could work on. But I'm with you, man. I kind of think it might be Keyshawn that ends up being that guy.
Yeah. 2-0 for this says this will be the Kalen Kingdom. I love it. Love what he did there, man. H.E. Solder asking the tough questions. Has anyone figured out why King had that catastrophic last year at Penn State? I'm not a huge Penn State watcher. Solder, I do know that Kalen King was projected to be the top corner in the draft going into his final college football season. And like you said, he plummeted. There's been a lot of people that are around the Penn State, program said that the reason he looked so good the year before was because I think it was Joey Porter Jr. I believe that's who it was. I could be wrong. It was another corner that got drafted in the first round. You guys correct me if you can figure out who it was. And they're saying, hey, that dude was covering the number one receivers, and now he had to step into that role and kind of got cooked a little bit. I don't know enough about it. I do know this. I completely agree with Goody taking a seventh-round flyer on a guy that some thought was going to be the best cornerback coming into the draft. That's worth a swing there that maybe you kind of rekindle that. So it looks like Chris the Casual says that's correct. Like, thank you so much for confirming that, Bob. We really, really appreciate it.
Kalen King's certainly one of those guys at the top of your list, though, that you want to see, especially once camp gets kicked off, right? And, pay attention to these preseason games. You're going to get to see some of these younger corners put in work. And I think Kalen King's probably at the top of the list for guys that I'd be really looking forward to see. Kamal Haddon being number 2, and then obviously, our new guy, Micah Robinson. If one of those tier level guys can really step up and, make a run at a roster spot, at least make it hyper competitive there towards the end, it's going to really bode well for this secondary, I think, going forward.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to question number 2. How quickly can the new look receiving core gel? All right. While the defense deals with departures, the offense is defined by new arrivals. The Packers needed a consistent speed element, especially with Christian Watson recovering from a torn ACL. To address this, they broke a 23-year streak by drafting wide receiver Matthew Golden in the first round. With the reported 4.29 40 time, Golden is expected to be the immediate deep threat Jordan Love has been missing. The team also added veteran speedster Mecole Hardman and versatile third-round pick Savion Williams from TCU. Williams is a creative chess piece for Coach Matt LaFleur's playbook. The offensive success hinges on how quickly these new pieces gel. Their development is paramount. And I think first and foremost, Matthew Golden, right? Yeah. How quickly can you get him up to speed? Now, if you're just going to put him in the Z and you keep Jaden Reed in the F, you don't have to worry about him having to learn all of the different choice routes that are embedded in Matt LaFleur's offense. So if that's the case, then to me, that seems like the quick answer. Romeo Doubs is one of your best wide receivers. I think we would all agree when he's healthy, right? And the concussions, they are an issue. But if you
I just caught the ball.
Well, I think you put Romeo Doubs at the boundary X, you put Matthew Golden at the Z, and you keep him there and let him master that Z position with Christian out. And then you'll have, like we said, Jaden Reed in the F. And if you're wondering, what do you mean, Clayton, by the F position having to learn those choice routes? So the F is the mover, right? He's the mover in this offense, meaning he's the guy who's doing 90% of the motion on plays. So when he's motioning, whether he goes from right to left or left to right, when he gets to that side of the field, there's going to be choice routes baked into Matt LaFleur's offense. And what we mean by choice routes is reading the defense. If the corner sinks to 12 yards, you turn it into a hitch. If the corner meets you at a 7-yard break, give him a double move and hit him with a post. Yeah. And you and the quarterback have to be on the same page, reading what the defense is doing and react in real time. So if you've got someone playing the F, which is essentially the slot receiver in Matt LaFleur's offense that's moving a lot, doing a lot of the cheap motion, you've got to know those choice routes. With Matthew Golden being so young, don't throw all that on him yet, Tim.
Yeah.
Just put him out to Z, learn the choice routes there. And you know what? If he picks it up like a young stud should, then you start to work him in.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah. So
that's so true. Like, it'll be interesting to see how they approach this, right? Because you don't want to not give them enough or sell them short. You want to see what the kid can do, right? But in the same sense, there's nothing wrong with learning from a guy like Jaden Reed, right? And just easing your way into that sort of role, especially when you point out the fact that, we're missing Scoot. So what better time than now when we're down one of our top receivers to put Matt Golden in an opportunity like that to just, become a seasoned professional at his pace,
Yeah, couldn't agree more, man. Holmes MD1, I watched some Golden tape today. He's a really good young player, man. He's a blast to watch. Really, really. I mean, he's, as Jordan Love said, in just a little bit of time in minicamp and rookie minicamps that he got to work with him and everything, he said this dude's polished. Ron Sample said, I heard Golden asked his favorite routes, choice routes for some of his favorites. They definitely have a choice routes baked in to Steve Sarkisian's offense down in Texas. There's no two ways about that. That's what made Quinn Ewers so valuable, and everybody was excited about it because he's that veteran quarterback. If you guys don't know about Quinn Ewers, not to talk too much college ball here, but Quinn Ewers turned down a reported $6 to $8 million in NIL money to return to college. He said, nope, I'm going to the pros. And he fell to the 7th round. He's making less than $1 million this year. So that's how valuable he was seen at the college level, because he has that veteran leadership and that awareness in Steve Sarkisian's offense. Now, there was reports that I think Duke was after him. Notre Dame was reportedly after him, but that pretty much got squashed real quick with all the Notre Dame insiders, which shout out to Jermichael Finley. His son signed with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish today for the 2026 class. Kid's already 6'2" going into his senior year in high school, and he looks even better than his dad, man. One of those high elite recruits. But anyway, I know Tim and I are very excited about that being Irish fans. So,
sure.
But yeah, as far as Golden, man, it's going to be fun to see how he comes into the fold here. 2-0 for this, as Golden's putting in the work both on and off the field. He's going to be solid. I completely agree. Tim, have you seen some of his posts on social media?
Yeah.
Just out there on the grind, and then when he's not on the grind, guess what? He's just back home in Texas serving the community. Pretty cool, man.
Yeah, buying kids shoes, working with the youth programs, things like that. And then, it's either that or he's grinding. I mean, it shouldn't surprise us, right? This is the guy on draft night that, puts his hat on, meets the fans, and then immediately looks at Goody and says, can I work out? How do I get in the facility to work out? So it doesn't surprise me. And if you look at some of the tape that you've seen, at least to me, man, the first thing that always jumps out besides the speed and the hands is just the route running ability for a rookie receiver to run that compressed, that condensed, not waste a lot of motion. He's just fun to watch. So it'll be cool to see him at full game speed. Can't wait for that first preseason game against the Jets. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Randy Cleaver says there is going to be some hard choices come cut downs for the receiver room. Man, you're not kidding. I mean, we just spent whatever it was, 5-10 minutes talking about Matthew Golden. Christian Watson, obviously, when he comes back from the ACL, you're looking to work him right back into the offense, especially if he's showing he's ahead of schedule, whether it's late October, early November when he's back on the field. But, Tim, you've also got Mecole Hardman, who it sounds like he's impressed the first couple practices. I have a feeling we're going to be hearing his name in training camp a lot.
Yeah.
One-handed grabs already. What was him and Jordan Love had a 70-yard touchdown pass in practice. Granted, I know they wasn't in full pads and hitting and everything, but he's just kind of been one of those dudes that I don't look at that and go, man, he's going to be awesome because he caught a touchdown pass in practice. Tim, what I make a mental note of is Jordan Love's really making an effort to try to get on the same page with Mecole Hardman. And to me, man, that could be the difference maker for that combo.
I agree. We know why we brought him in, right? Obviously. I think he's going to show all of us why he's going to stay. And I fully believe that he's going to make this 53. I think it's going to be a tough, cut down at the receiver position in general with all this talent. But I don't know, man. I think there's a pretty good case for him staying just because, we talk about the leadership, the guy's a champion, we've been down that road. We know that, but it's also the versatility as a player, as both a receiver and in the special teams game. It's just he brings so much to the table. And then if you combine that with the fact that if he's balling out of control and looks good at camp, it's going to be really hard to send that guy packing, man.
Yeah. And as Randy Cleaver says here, get Reed all punt returns and put him there, talking about Mecole Hardman.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
I do not want to see Jaden Reed returning any more punts, man. Let that dude get a breather. Let him be your F. And get someone else ready to play the F. And Bo Melton filled in a little bit last year, but the other outlier there is Dontavion Wicks. He can play the boundary X. He can play the F. got to fix the drop issues that emerged there in 2023. But yeah, completely agree there, Randy. Definitely want Jaden Reed off punt returns. The other one here, Tim, is Savion Williams. I mentioned this, guys, because when we took Luke Musgrave in the second round and we took Tucker Kraft in the third round, I was over the moon with Luke Musgrave, right? I was like, this dude's going to be awesome, right? And Tucker Kraft, well, he's raw, small school, got a ton of natural ability. What happened? Now, injuries played a role. Luke Musgrave, getting banged up, but boy, Tucker Kraft just took tight end one from him. Who's to say that Savion Williams doesn't do that to Matthew Golden? And I'm not saying I want it to be one way or the other, Tim, but that's why you take two swings at a position of need, right? Exactly. And again, I don't think Savion is a perfect fit to play Z. And this is Greg Cosell 101, the film guru. When you look to add a piece to the puzzle that is your National Football League, football team, whether it's the Packers or whatever team, it's not just, okay, this guy's going to play receiver. It's where are you going to use them in terms of deployment? Feels like Matthew Golden more of a Z. Savion might be that dude they try to work into the F and possibly a little X as well, right, depending on how well his route running looks in training camp, Tim, because the reality is they didn't give him a whole lot of that at TCU because they were making him play wildcat quarterback. He was lining up in the backfield as a running back. And when he did run routes, there was times where he cooked people.
I agree. And, Jacob brought that up a couple shows ago himself, saying that he has this kind of feeling that, it might be Savion Williams that is the rookie receiver that steps up in year one and really, really shows out. I think it'd be a great problem to have if him and Matt Golden turned out to be incredible. That would be great, but we have to be patient with our rookies, right? And I think you're right. Some of this might be foreign to a guy like Savion Williams who, is going to probably be asked to be a receiver now. And that's what he's here to play. Right. And it's good that Matt's got, Coach LaFleur's got a guy like Savion Williams in this offense because he's a guy with the versatility factor. You can mold him. You can figure out what kind of role you want him to have in your offense. And I think nobody better than Matt LaFleur to do that. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Definitely. Rob Westerman in the chat said, would love to see Savion get hot right off the bat. That'd be absolutely. And you know what's going to happen if that happens, Rob? The rest of that receiving core is going to raise their game a little bit, right? Rising tide raises all ships, that whole thing, right? Iron sharpens iron, all the cliches that we hear. It's absolutely huge, man. If the third rounder comes out and just who's to say he's not the stud in this class? It could be, man. It could be for sure. So if you guys are not following Rob on YouTube, he's got an awesome channel here as well. Make sure you go check out GBP Daily. Look for that logo right there and just type in GBP Daily on YouTube. Rob, if you want to plug it here in the chat too, man, if you got the exact YouTube channel name, it may be that, it may not, but you guys make sure you're subbed to his channel. All right. We appreciate you swinging through, Rob, for sure. Let's move on to number 3. To actually while we're on number 2, let's just look real quick at the PFF grades. Mecole Hardman last year, 72.8. Jaden Reed, 71.7. Christian Watson, 70. We get a Christian Watson chalk talk ready to go. We're going to hold it for tomorrow, I believe. Really, really cool breakdown of his tomorrow, some of his top plays from last year. Romeo Dobbs, 69.7. Dontavion Wicks, 65.1. Bo Melton, 63.2. Malik Heath, 62.9. And, of course, Savion Williams, Matthew Golden haven't played a snap in the league. So, for me, Tim, when you look at this, one thing that sticks out, Dontavion Wicks had a drop issue. Just like Jaden Reed cleaned it up on the back half of the season. Still graded out as a 65.1. That is not bad. That's not a bad PFF grade. It's kind of average across the league, right? Yeah. And you say, okay, we want better than average. I got you. I understand. But Dontavion Wicks was a later round pick. It's not like, like Jaden Reed's second round pick, 71.7. Christian Watson, second round pick, 70. That's what you're looking for, right? The big overachiever here is Romeo Dobbs, 69.7.
That's my dude right there. I know a lot of people think Rome is trade bait, and maybe he is. Who knows? But I still think he's one of the top receivers we have in this now more crowded than ever receiving room that we have. And to your point about Tay Wicks, you're right. Like, even with the issues he had, he still graded out fairly well. And we as fans know what he's capable of. We know what we saw in his rookie year. We know that. So if he can kind of come back to form and like you said, fix that drop issue, I think we're going to be in real good shape here.
Yeah. Agree. All right, number 3. Who claims the number 2 running back spot? Josh Jacobs is the undisputed lead back, but a fierce competition is brewing for the critical running back 2 role. On one side is Marshawn Lloyd, a 2024 third-round pick with dynamic potential, looking to expand his role in his second year. On the other is Emmanuel Wilson, who proved reliable and productive in 2024. The front office must decide whether to lean into their draft investment in Lloyd or reward the on-field production of Wilson. This battle is more than just a backup spot. It's about defining the backfield's identity behind Jacobs and ensuring there's no drop-off when he needs a breather. And I love this topic here because Emmanuel Wilson last year, guys, the 12th highest graded running back according to PFF with an 82.9. Josh Jacobs graded out as the third best at a 92.3. Chris Brooks, much like Dontavion Wicks, 65.6, solid grade. He can block. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, the whole 9 yards. Marshawn Lloyd, very, very, very minimal snaps, 53.3, but it was minimal snaps. They want Marshawn Lloyd to be that dude. But, Tim, I don't know how you feel, man. I would not try. I don't have too much pride to say, you know what, if Emmanuel Wilson is that much better than Marshawn Lloyd, keep rolling with Emmanuel Wilson. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to. Injuries are going to happen. Both of these guys are going to get playing time. But, again, as the question asked, who's going to take that number 2 running back spot? What do you think? Do you think there's a chance that Marshawn Lloyd takes it from Emmanuel Wilson? Or do you think Emmanuel Wilson continues to ball out? And how excited are you to see camp battle between these dudes in the back?
Oh, it's kind of like conflicting because they're two of my favorites. You know, I've been a big fan of Emmanuel Wilson the past couple of years and was really excited last year to see Marshawn Lloyd in the mix. And obviously, you know, injuries kind of cheated us of that. And to me, that's the question we need to answer right now. And I think the best way to do it is if Marshawn Lloyd shows up fully healthy and he goes out there and he wins that role, if he outplays Emmanuel Wilson and wins the number 2 back, then hey, more power to him. Let's see what we can do. But you know anything about E. Wilson, man, he's not going to make it easy. He has been as solid as you can be for a number 2 back, I think. And as nervous as we were when we kind of overhauled that running back room with, you know, the departure of Jonesy and you bring Jacobs in, you know, Emmanuel Wilson was even kind of a question mark his rookie year. He dealt with some injury issues, didn't see, you know, very many snaps. And I think last year proved to be a reliable number 2 back. And I think it's his job to lose. And I don't think he's going to lose it. I really don't. But at the end of the day, you want to see your guys do well. But I think they have enough invested in Marshawn Lloyd to give him a chance to prove that he can. I don't think he needs to prove he can be effective. I think he's a really talented back, man. One of the best in last year's draft class for sure. He needs to prove he can stay healthy. Can he play 10 to 14, 15, 16, 18 games for us? We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think I'm with 2-0 for this here. He says, I hope they let Lloyd or Wilson actually earn it and not just hand the job to Lloyd. Yes. Wilson has been tremendous. As soon as I'm reading your comment 2-0 for this, I immediately think of Josh Myers because Josh Myers was a 2nd-round pick. He's the center. He's going to be the starting center. When in reality, we as fans kind of picked up, hey, man, this is an issue. Like year 1 as a rookie, hey, all the grace in the world. Year 2, I want to see some, you know, improvement. I didn't see enough. Year 3, it went back. Year 4 went further back. Like at some point, you got to just chalk it up as a loss. The only thing worse than making a bad draft pick is refusing to admit you made a bad draft pick. That's the first thing that came to mind for me when I read his comment there, for sure. Randy Cleaver says, Wilson is the guy. I haven't seen enough from Lloyd. As it sits right now, I agree with you, Randy. But check this out. What if we come out in the preseason? Both of those guys are getting significant carries in the 3 preseason games. And what if Marshawn Lloyd just comes out and looks all shifty like a little mini Barry Sanders or something? I will flip on Emmanuel Wilson quick. Why? I want the best 11 players on the field, period.
Won't mean a hill of beans if you can't block and pass pro, baby.
Very true. Very true. And Emmanuel Wilson got better at that last year, dude. He really did throughout the year. Greg Rice says, Lloyd is very shifty, reminds me of Aaron Jones. I could see that comp. I could see that. Runs hard, too. Runs very hard like Aaron did. That's something that we, you know, I want to say it was underappreciated, but we didn't talk about enough with Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones was shifty. He could bounce it out. He could take it from B gap left to C gap right. Yeah. But boy, oh boy, he was not afraid to lower that head and try to run through a tackler, man. Holmes MD1, Lloyd does have a lot of talent, but Wilson has won the job, in my opinion. Right now, I got to agree with you for sure. 2-0 for this. Emmanuel means God with us. Enough said. Hey, I like that. I like the way you're thinking there, brother. No, let's don't overthink it here, Tim. Let's just
let's just go. Let's go with that. Hey, either way, right? Whether those are your three, right? If we're going to carry three backs, I mean, like we probably will at least, right? So whether it's Wilson's your third or Lloyd is your second or vice versa, it's hey, we're doing well if we got three solid running backs for sure.
Yeah, completely agree. All right, moving along. What does the tight end rotation look like? This has been mentioned in the chat all offseason. Like, are we going to play more 12? Well, how's that going to look with tight ends? A year ago, the Packers had two promising rookie tight ends. Now they have two legitimate offensive weapons. Tucker Kraft emerges a force after the catch, while Luke Musgrave has a high ceiling as a receiving threat. The question isn't who is better, but who the Packers will deploy or how the Packers will deploy them to maximize their talents. Will they feature more two tight end sets, creating defensive mismatches, or will Kraft's yards after catch ability demand a target share that impacts Musgrave? How Coach LaFleur utilizes the duo could reshape the offense, and finding that balance in camp is crucial to unlocking their full potential. You guys know how I feel about this. As we went through and did Chalk Talk, the top plays of 2024, every single play on that list, I want to say it was the top 10 plays that we came up with. This was immediately following the season. All 10 plays out of 11 personnel. So much like we were just talking about, play the better running back, right? Forget the draft status, just put the best 11 on the field. The same way with what personnel is working for you. Just because Musgrave's a second-round pick, I don't want them to think, oh, man, we got to get him on the field. We got to get him on the field. And then you take your most explosive deployment of your offense, which is 11 personnel, one running back, one tight end, three wide receiver sets. You take that off the field just to try to force a square peg into a round hole and get Musgrave on the field. I'm not opposed to 12 personnel, but just put the best 11 on the freaking field, man. Don't feel like you got to force that just because he was a second-round pick. I don't know how you feel about that, Tim, but with the PFF grades, Tucker Kraft, 67.8, had a great year, in my opinion. A huge step forward, going to continue to get better. A lot left on the field as well. John Fitzpatrick, 55.1. Ben Sims, 54.4. And Luke Musgrave banged up all year, 47.1. That may surprise people that his grade's that low, but
yeah.
I mean, it's what I seen on tape too, Tim. And again, I was the biggest Musgrave fan. I had him very high on our board. When we did that draft coverage, me and Ryan that year, Luke, I said live on our stream, you can go back and watch it. I said, I think this is Luke Musgrave here. Bang, they got him. The thing I didn't have, Tim, was the very next round when they took Tucker Kraft. Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, no kidding. And aren't you glad we did it that way? I mean, think about it. You give yourself a chance for succeed or a higher chance for success because if both of these guys hit right away, it's great. If they develop at their own rates and they both turn out to be awesome, great. You could have two studs here when it's all said and done. You talk about Musgrave. I think I said this once before. This has to be the year for him. It has to be. This is going to kind of determine what direction his career is going to go in this league and the future he has with this team. So I am absolutely 100% rooting for a breakout season from Luke Musgrave, because then we have a two-headed monster in the tight end room. And then you got guys like Ben Sims, coming up behind them. And, even John Fitzpatrick, if he's on the practice squad or something, you feel really good about this tight end room, pending a breakout year from Luke Musgrave. If he doesn't take that step, I don't know. That might be a whole nother episode we could dedicate to that one.
Yeah. Let's go to the chat here as Chuck Jagger says, AFAM's mom is tight end 3. There you go. There's the lovely lady.
She can block.
I bet she can block. Greg Rice, I will be shocked if we run 11 and Musgrave is out there. I could not agree more, Greg. Taking Tucker Kraft off the field, that should warrant criminal charges on the coaching staff. I'm just telling you. Tucker Kraft, he's going to quickly become the heart and soul of this team.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to perform as well as George Kittle, who's a slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famer. But I'm just saying how George Kittle, he plays up here, but also the way that the team respects him and how his energy level brings everybody up here as well. Tucker Kraft's got that part down. Yeah. It's just the performance is a little bit lower than George Kittle. I have no reason to believe he can't get up to that level, though, man.
I agree, and I think this may be the season that finally gets him out from under that that curtain a little bit. He's kind of been overlooked these last couple of years when it comes to your top tight end lists and in the NFL. And I think the Kittle comparison is good in the sense of, he's a team guy, he's a teammate, good teammate guy, but he also gets along with the staff. He's super coachable, interesting personality, a leader, right? Well, you see all of that with Tucker Kraft in his own way, right? Great teammate, great leader, interesting personality, right? Gets along with the staff. And I think you're right, Clay. I think the physical part of the game, his skill set is just going to continue to get better as he grows as a pro. So another guy we could be talking about a breakout year this year as well.
Yeah, Randy Cleaver says Kraft is the man. Musgrave has to prove it, much like the whole Marshawn Lloyd, Emmanuel Wilson saga there. Ron Sample says Kraft gets hosed by PFF. Again, man, I use PFF. I think it's a great tool, but the thing that bothers me about PFF is explain to me why you gave that grade. They just throw a number out there. And what I love about NFL Pro is I can go in there and look at every single target, every single route ran, every single blocking rep. It's got it all earmarked there. And their stats are backed up with, hey, here's the tape. It does bother me there because I'm telling you, with the numbers that Tucker Kraft put up, how in the heck they've got him a 67.8 is mind-boggling, although that is above average, right? That's like you're cracking into, well, what was he, the 23rd best tight end in the league? That's solid, Tim, for a third-round pick. Hey, this dude is a legit starting number one tight end. However, I feel like based off what I've seen with the tape and what the numbers suggest on NFL Pro and advanced metrics, Tucker Kraft should be closer to 12, maybe even 10, somewhere in that range.
Absolutely. And to think that I don't even think we've seen his best football yet. And you think of the plethora of tape we've watched and some of the memorable plays and just, some of the plays we might have forgot about that, he did some excellent work on. It's time, man. It's crazy to think that as much as we've seen, we haven't really seen his best yet. And I think 2025 is going to be that year for sure.
Greg Rice in the chat says, boy, he coming in hot here. 23 likes, 70 watching. If you guys would, we hate to ask this, but from time to time, I need to get better at it. Smash that like button for us if you like this kind of content. We go live daily. We'll give you all the coverage throughout training camp, into the season, pregame show, postgame show, all that stuff. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification. That way you get notified every time we do go live. Because there's sometimes, Tim, especially in the winter months, once we get past October, me and you, we just wake up at 9:30 in the morning, grab a cup of coffee, and talk some ball, right? So got to have that notification on. But
sure,
appreciate that, Greg. Thank you, buddy, for the reminder there. I'll make sure I hit like too. Randy Cleaver says, I think with Williams in the mix, we might break camp with 3 tight ends. It's funny you say that, Randy, because when people hear that, they think, okay, he's just going to play attached tight end and he's going to be kind of that big Y. I don't see Savion Williams that way. However, remember how we used Christian Watson his rookie year, Tim? We would put him at the wing position, right? Which, if you guys don't know, it's right where the tight end lines up. It's just off the line of scrimmage, right? That's something Savion could do, especially you get him acclimated to blocking a nickel corner, because when he's out there, right, let's say on one side of the formation you got Tucker Kraft, who's an attached Y, and then on the other side you've got Savion Williams playing wing. Well, he's going to count as a wide receiver. So when that defensive coach, when they're eyeballing the players going off on and off the field, they're going to go 11, or Tiger, whatever their code word is. And what that's going to tell them is 3 wide receiver set. So they're going to match it with 3 cornerbacks, 2 safeties, 2 backers, and 4 defensive linemen, outside linebackers, whatever you want to call them, in a 34. But when they do that, and now you got Savion out there on the field, they've got a cornerback on Savion. How tall is he? 6'4"? Is that what we said? 6'3", 6'4"?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And
he's like 225 pounds. So now you've got this small corner there. Well, guess what? If he sifts over to peel that corner's cap in a run game, might as well be a tight end. I think that's what Randy's saying here too. So it's going to be fun to see how they utilize Savion for sure, man. I can't wait for that. But there you go. Thank you, Holmes. 6'4", 222. He's thick, Tim. No doubt about it, man.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Might be a backup tight end for us if we need him to, right?
In a pinch, why not? And here's the thing. Quarterback coming out of high school, don't be surprised they run a little end. Imagine hitting him with a couple end arounds, then all of a sudden you turn it into a reverse pass. He sets up, throws the ball down the field. There's just a lot of things you can do with that.
Or we run the little direct snap to Tucker Kraft like we've done, but instead you run that to Savion and he he stops and throws it instead of diving through the pile. I love it.
Well, yeah, Tucker Craft. Gotta love it, dude. All right. Number 5 on the list. Can Jordan Morgan unseat Rasheed Walker at left tackle or start at right guard? You guys know last year, Jordan Morgan and Sean Ryan were splitting reps at right guard. Now, Jordan Morgan hurt his shoulder in training camp. It nagged him all year. It finally put him out for the year once it caught up with him. I will say this about Jordan Morgan. He showed grit. He tried to make it work. He tried to get out there and play. He changed positions. Guys, he played left tackle in high school and college. Never played any other offensive line position. He comes to the Packers. They throw him at right guard, and he was on pace to take that from Sean Ryan, okay? But there's rumors coming out of camp here, Tim, that he's going to compete with Rasheed Walker for left tackle. On the surface, I don't like it. I'd rather have Jordan Morgan playing right guard. However, you never know how that's going to play out. A critical camp battle is brewing at left tackle. The Packers' 2024 first-round pick, Jordan Morgan's challenging incumbent, Rasheed Walker, who is entering a contract year. It's a classic battle, a high-profile pick versus an established starter fighting for his future. This competition tests Green Bay's philosophy of developing offensive linemen. Stabilizing Jordan Love's blind side is critical for the entire offense. So whether Morgan proves ready or Walker holds him off will have massive ripple effect. So the question becomes, if you do put Jordan Morgan at left tackle, that means Rasheed Walker becomes the backup swing tackle, I would imagine. If Jordan Morgan wins the right guard job, then obviously Rasheed Walker is going to stay at left tackle, and now Sean Ryan becomes the swing guard, and probably Anthony Belton is your swing tackle. I don't care if Jordan Morgan beats him out for left tackle, Tim, or if he starts at right guard. I just want him to be starting in one of those spots just to know, okay, what I've seen on tape, I think Jordan Morgan's going to be a hell of a player. That's me personally. Problem is he's been banged up, and it's hard to bench press 300-pound lineman off of you when you got a torn up shoulder the way it was last year. So I don't care where he plays, whether it's left tackle or right guard. I can see the positive for both, because if he does beat Rasheed Walker out for left tackle, you got Jordan Morgan under contract for 3 years, 2 after this year.
Yeah.
And you just let Rasheed Walker walk into free agency and you pick up a big comp pick, because somebody's going to pay him probably over $15 million per.
Yeah, but that's a big if, right? We got to see that first. Let's see it. Let's see Jordan Morgan go out there and win that role. Because I'm with you. I want him on the line. I'd prefer him at right guard, with Sheed staying there. Just like, we're saying here in the article, it's stabilizing this position is critical for the entire offense, really for the future of the team. So if we make another change again, that'll be Jordan's third left tackle in how many seasons as a starter? I mean, you want to build some consistency there. Aaron had Big Dave for a great amount of time, blocking his blind side. And you can't understate that type of relationship between a right-handed quarterback and your starting left tackle. So if it is going to be Jordan Morgan, then you're right. The sooner the better. Let's get that, beat him out at camp, win the role. And you're right. We move on from Rasheed Walker, no harm, no foul. But ultimately, even if Rasheed remains the left tackle and we do give him the bag and he is here for a while, that could bode well for us too, because now we've solidified that side of our offensive line. And then you're right, Jordan Morgan can compete at right guard or a swing guard position.
Yeah. H.E. Soder says more interested in seeing what they do with Anthony Belton. Soder, I hope I'm wrong here, but to me it feels like Belton is going to be kind of a red shirt player. We just been through mini camp. That's all we've seen. He may come out training camp and kick everybody's ass, Tim. That might happen. He might soar straight to the top. Heck, he might win left tackle. Who knows, right? But the rumors coming out from like Brian Balaga and Mark Tauser and those guys was they wanted to try to get Jordan Morgan competing with Rasheed Walker at left tackle, and they wanted Anthony Belton to compete for right guard. Now, that could be the case as well, but I think that's a great point by Soder. It just kind of feels like if Sheed beats out Jordan Morgan at left tackle and Jordan Morgan settles in at right guard, hopefully we don't use Anthony Belton this year, right? Now, here's another thing, and this is kind of a hot take because you guys know by now I don't like talking trades on here. You want to know how you get YouTube numbers up? Put in a trade rumor video. These trade rumors, and you hit that, oh, my God, it gets clicks out. I hate doing that stuff because wasting the energy, the time, energy, resources into deep diving a topic that you know is 95% not going to happen, I try to stay away from. And it's kind of, you're kind of tricking the viewer to to watch something that
Yeah.
deep down in your heart's probably not going to happen. However, if Anthony Belton comes out and Jordan Morgan comes out in training camp and they're both like lights out, both of these guys are one of the best 5. I wouldn't be surprised if Rasheed Walker gets traded. Wouldn't surprise me one bit.
No, me neither. And I got to tell you what I think about our boy, Big Sean. If you're Sean Ryan right now, you really got to be thinking to yourself, is there a spot for me as a starter on this football team? Is there a spot for me on this 53-man roster? Depending on how some of these younger guys shake up here on this O-line, plus the addition of Aaron Banks. We've pretty much got left guard locked in here, right? Once we sort things out with Big E and, we have our center situated. I'd be nervous if I'm Sean Ryan right now, honestly. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, because you're right. I mean, if Jordan Morgan's going to win a starting role, it's going to be right guard or left tackle. If it ends up being right guard, where do you see Sean Ryan? Is he your backup center? Is he your, backup left guard? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, yes to everything. I honestly think he's one of the. And people like to pile on Sean Ryan a little bit, but I'll tell you this, man. I thought he was on his way out going into last year, and you'll see on this Chalk Talk we're about to do. There's several times you see him get to the next level. You're like, holy cow, Sean Ryan had a pretty good year. So when it comes to Sean Ryan, I think the value is he can play center. He can play center in the pinch, right? Yeah. And he can play both guard spots. I would love to see him be the swing guard. Like I said, him the swing guard, Jordan Morgan starting at right guard, and then have Anthony Belton be the swing tackle and keep Rasheed. Because if you trade Rasheed and you get a 5th-round pick, I could give less than a – trying to think of something that isn't a bad word. I could care less about a 5th-round pick when you got one of the better left tackles in the game, which PFF had him, I think, as the 31st or 32nd best tackle in pro football. Not just left tackle. What that tell you? He's a number 1 quality tackle. So you've literally got a top 10 tackle and Zach Tom on one side, Rasheed Walker on the other, is a starting caliber. It's hard for me to cut ties with all that. So
I agree.
Anyway. All right, that's going to do it for that. What we're going to do, guys, there's 10 on that list. So tomorrow we'll hit 6 through 10. Okay, we did the top 5 tonight. Now let's jump into some Chalk Talk here. I tried to make a note here when we wrap this up. I'm going to just put 47, 44. For those of you listening on the pod, we'll see you on the other side for hour 2, and that's going to be a little Chalk Talk. Josh Jacobs, we appreciate y'all.
For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour 2. All right, let's get into it, Tim. Let's talk a little Josh Jacobs Chalk Talk. Guys, full disclaimer, we do this every time we do Chalk Talk and break down a tape film study. If the stream goes down on YouTube, we're still live on X. We're still live on Rumble, okay? Now, if you don't have either of those platforms and it goes down, we've been very fortunate. It has not gone down at all. What happens is the AI triggers a copyright. Like, hey, you're not allowed to use this. And then the real humans step in and go, yeah, they are allowed to use it. And the stream comes back up. Well, our viewers have already left. But we're going to cut this video out for y'all separately so you can watch it later, too, to make it a little convenient. All right. So with that being said, Tim, let's get into it, man. This was a fun breakdown, dude. Yeah, you're going to see that play. We actually end with that play right there, Tim. And
icing on the cake right there. Let's go.
So much fun, man. So much fun. So Josh Jacobs, obviously, PFF had him in the 3rd best running back in the league last year. These are all of his, not all of them, these are a good chunk of his explosive runs, okay? You're not going to see any touchdowns, no touchdowns in this highlight reel right here, okay? And the reason being is I wanted to key in on the explosive plays. That's what I really, really wanted to key in on here, okay? I'm calling Mandy because I got a German Shepherd, 125-pounder banging on the door here. If y'all don't hear it, it sounds like a monster trying to come in. Let's see if she can get him back out of here. We got a dog at the door, if you don't mind, ma'am. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Love you.
She knew we were talking Josh Jacobs, She wanted to get in the mix.
All right, hey, listen, that's the kind of mediocrity you get on this show right here, okay? If you yeah, I'm sorry. If you expected this to be professional, you're watching the wrong YouTube channel. But all right, so again, explosive plays, runs of 15 yards or more. There might be one that's a 14-yarder, but I think for the most part, these are all counted on NFL Pro as 15-yard plays, okay? So let's get into it. There you see Christian Watson in motion. Remember we were talking about wing? Look at there it is right off the bat. That's perfect. I didn't even plan that. So you see Christian right here, Tim. This is what we're talking about maybe doing with Savion, having him inside right there. So you're showing 11 personnel, but it might as well be 12 if you've got Christian in there, kind of help him play that wing position, if that makes sense. So pretty cool. All right, here we go. Let's roll the tape. We'll try to reckon up. We canned out of it right there, so we probably canned to a run right there. Everybody got it. You can see. We'll see if it's a duo run or what here. Yeah, looks like a little bit of duo. Look at Christian already getting out here. Christian getting out here looking for work. I love it. Josh Myers got off the snap really, really well. You got that double-double right here, right? Little double team block. And again, look at Sheed going to wash this guy out of the play. Great job there. Let's watch our boy Josh Jacobs. Look at there you go, Josh Myers. That's a good rep.
Yep.
That burst, though, man, I'm telling you, he runs so violent. This was week 1 against Philadelphia here. Just the vision, Tim. Watch the legs. Keep moving, patience. Set it up. Keep chopping, cut, keep chopping. He literally ran 2 Eagles into each other. Watch the 2 backers hit each other here, Tim. That's actually a safety in the back.
Yeah, it's that left foot. Watch him stride right there. And it's like a little skip step. Just slips those guys. Makes them look foolish.
Beautiful play, man. Beautiful run.
A little block in the back from Josh didn't help either, or didn't hurt either. So that was awesome.
Hey, they didn't throw the flag. It didn't happen. All right, next play. Now we're in the gun. So it's probably 11 personnel. Looks like you got Jaden Reed out here in the F. You got Tucker playing the big Y. We're going sidecar right. If you hear us say sidecar right, sidecar left, it's real simple. We're in a shotgun, and that's the side that the running back is on. I heard it explained to me under the Mike McCarthy era. One of the coaches there talked about one time they called it a sidecar. I'm like, oh, that's sticking with me. So it's think of a motorcycle, Tim. I ain't going to draw that out here. Maybe some handlebars here, right? Vroom, vroom. Here's your sidecar right. All right. Let's see what happens on this play. Usually most of the time when you're running sidecar right, like 85% of the runs go left. Now they can run a counter back, but most of the time this is a zone run left is how that approaches. So if you're sidecar left, it's a zone run right. But let's see what we got here. A little cheat motion from the F. Oh, look at this. We got a little zipper orbit, Tim. And those of you wondering, orbit motion is when you go around the quarterback, okay? Zipper motion is when someone goes over and comes back, okay? Yo-yo, zipper, whatever you want to call it. When it's zipper orbit, he goes under and back around on the zipper motion. And there's been many plays where they'll fake the handoff to the T. In this case, the T is Josh Jacobs, and they'll give the ball to Jaden Reed. But in this case, they're going to give it to Josh Jacobs, obviously. Let's watch it.
Reed, one of the best at running that play, too, by the way.
Yeah.
So fluid.
All right, so here we go. This is a little duo here. Let me explain to you what we mean by duo, guys, because some people would see this and go wide zone left. You want to call it that? That's cool. There's a lot of arguing that goes on in that regard. Duo is 2. There's 2 elements to duo. It's 2 double teams. Now, Tom Brady says it's just 1 double team and you get to the next level. He called it duo as well. But you're looking for 2 double teams, okay? And then also getting to the next level. The second element of this is what we call vertical power, okay? And it's really, really simple. Vertical power is you're not skipping a gap. Run, like on a power play, a guard will pull from the B gap right and end up in the B gap left, or the center will pull from obviously that zero tech and they'll get out in the C gap left. That's typically what you call power if the running back doesn't use counter footwork. However, with duo, 2 elements, 2 double teams at the point of attack, and then vertical power, meaning those guys are going to pull off and get to the next level. Let's go 50%, see if we can pick up on it here. So you see the 2 double teams, right? So the double team here is actually Sean Ryan, Zach Tom, and it looks like our boy Sean Ryan is going to get out here. I think it's Sean Ryan, right? 75, Tim? I'm thinking right. I think that's right.
Yes.
All right. And then your other double team is here, and one of these 2 guys is going to look out here and try to dig this safety out. All right, so watch what we're talking about. That's duo. See him getting out? Look at Sheed getting out on the – love it. Now let's take it back and watch Josh Jacobs set this run up because that was a nasty move right there.
That's why you got – it's almost like that extra deception of Reed going back over to that side of the field as you see it draw a linebacker over.
Yep.
It's almost baiting that you are going to run a counter play. You see that linebacker back in the hole, has to stay honest in case it is a counter.
Yep. Everything is about hat counts, guys, right? Like when you're looking in the box here, let's just go right here. Let's go inside the box, okay? You're looking to get a hat on a hat. Let's do our players in red. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players for us. Let's do theirs in blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 7 on 6, although nobody's expecting Jaden Reed to go out there and peel anybody's cap in the run game, especially between the tackles, right? So right now it's 7 on 6. You are +1 in the hat count within the box on this run play. Really, really like the way you're setting up here, okay? However, what Tim's talking about, when we bring this zipper motion back, 17 is now out of the play. So now the true hat count becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I'll tell you, Tim, you might as well just cross this dude out right here.
He's out
because
of the
there's no way he's making that play. So what you've got is +1 hat count, duo left, and that's how you end up with an explosive play, man. Absolutely huge on this. It's wasting no motion and taking exactly what they're giving them.
Yep.
Beautiful play.
It's plays like that makes you grateful that we hired Matt as our head coach.
Oh my gosh, man! And listen, guys, I remember when they hired Matt LaFleur. Tim, I immediately went to the Titans breakdown. Man, their offense sucked. What are we doing? But again, he came in, cast the vision for Mark Murphy. Here's what I'm going to do. And then as you do a little more digging, you're like, wow, this is the dude that Sean McVay handpicked to be his offensive coordinator with the LA Rams. And they went to the freaking Super Bowl with him as the offensive coordinator. Next year, he goes to the Titans, if I'm remembering this correctly. And then, of course, he leaves the Titans, takes the head coaching job in Green Bay. So I'm with you, Tim. Totally, man. Matt LaFleur is – I mean, you guys know I'm the biggest Matt LaFleur stan on the face of the planet. Dude's a top 10 coach of all time in terms of winning percentage. I mean, what else?
He's an offensive guru, man. I mean, scheming guys, you're talking explosive plays in the run and in the pass. That's why we're effective offensively. And I think we are. We're going to get to the next level this year. This year is going to be the culmination of everything Matt's been working on since he got here.
Definitely. All right, next play, we're in the gun again. So we're going strong left, and we're going sidecar right. Okay, so we say strong left, T weak, and this is out of the gun. Obviously, we don't have the receivers in the picture, so it don't really matter. Let's roll the tape and see what we got. Any cheat? Notice there's no motion there, Tim. It's one thing Matt LaFleur did really well when Malik became quarterback. Keep it simple, you know. It's so hard to time up that snap when you're using all these different motion elements. People just take that for granted. If you watch some of the handwork that Jordan Love has in handling the football in some of these shotguns, especially with that zipper orbit and faking the handoff to Jacobs and end up giving it to Reed, or faking it to Reed and giving it to Jacobs and then faking a pass real quick. Like, it takes a lot of – I love that he dumbed this down for Malik being so shallow-minded in terms of him not knowing the playbook, not knowing the offense fully, like Jordan Love who's been there for 4
Thank you, Clay. Let's remind the kids at home that Malik Willis had been a Green Bay Packer for 19 minutes before he made his start.
Man. Yeah.
Crazy. So it says a lot about Coach LaFleur, and it says a lot about Malik Willis and his ability to come into a new scheme, new situation, and get it done right away on game day. It's incredible.
Yeah. And remember what we said, guys. Sidecar right, 80-85% of the runs will be to the left. If he was sidecar left, it'd be going to the right. So he's sidecar right, and it's running play to the left. Kind of looks like duo, Tim. You see it?
Yes, sir.
You got double, 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 right? And then let's see if those guys peel off and try to get to the next level. Look at them. Look at Sheed and look at Myers, right?
Yep.
So there you go. Double, double. That's another duo. Can we show some love to number 75? What's a right guard, guys? Look at him. Get out there. Wall him off. Try to get a hand on
Next
it.
level.
Get out here and
all 3 levels.
Yeah, digging that safe
5 yards upfield. Then he ran out of gas. That's about what you can expect for a big dog like that, right?
Sean Ryan say, get that right price. I mean, I'd be willing to give him $3 million, Tim. I think he's embedded in the offense. He knows the system really well, right? $3 million is nothing in today's cap world, man. Nothing. Yeah. If you can lock up a swing guard for $3 million per, now will he take it?
So hard and so aggressive when he hits that hole.
Yeah. Do you see both hands on the ball? Look,
you said it before I could. Side hand. So if it gets punched out, it goes out of bounds. I mean, this is fundamental running back play at its finest right here.
Look how far Rasheed Walker gets out here on 33 too, man.
Yeah. I tell you, when you see Sheed out there like that in space, that's when he's really scary. When he gets to that next level.
Versatility, man. I'm telling you, $3 million per, bro.
And then think about this, Clayton. How long is Aaron Banks going to be a Packer? We don't know. So
Probably, right. Could just be 2 years.
yeah.
Right,
And so if you keep Big Sean in the mix, Jordan Morgan's developing nicely. You've got a plan going forward with some of these younger guys. So, that's not a knock on Aaron Banks. We haven't even seen him play for us yet. I'm looking forward to the next hopefully 2 years minimum with him in the fold, especially with Jenkins going to center. So I'm with you, Clay. I think for the right price, I'm keeping Nacho Libre, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. And Greg Rice has a question here. Coach, can you or Clayton explain why tight zone and wide zone? I'm not sure I understand the question, Greg. If you're asking the difference between the two, inside zone is what we've always heard. When you said tight zone, maybe you're talking about inside zone. It's just zone. The offensive line is blocking to a zone, not a specific gap. And then wide zone is typically when people hear wide zone, they think get to the C gap. That's not necessarily the case on a stretch run, an outside zone run. You're looking to get that whole defense moving horizontally and then cut back off of it. So just because it's designed to go outside of the C or even the D, if you've got a tight end over there, right? You're always looking for a cutback lane, right? So if you're asking the difference between tight zone, inside zone, or wide zone, I think okay, here we go. Oh, sorry. Greg Rice says, Coach Lynn said, I guess, I love how effective we were in duo, but I would love to see us get back to tight zone and wide zone. Yes. So, Greg, what he's talking about is with wide zone and inside zone, or what he's calling tight zone, you're just looking to block horizontally and then let your running back make the cutback, right? With duo, you're getting aggressive, vertical, like we said, vertical power. You're getting to the next level. Okay, with two of those blockers. So what he's saying there, I'll tell you this with duo, it's harder to disguise duo or play action with duo. And the reason being is once those offensive linemen get past the line of scrimmage, I think it's by 1 yard, now you can't throw the football or it's ineligible downfield. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, this is probably one of the reasons why you would like to see us get back to a little more inside zone, wide zone. But when you're running zone, they're staying perpendicular with the line of scrimmage, so you can work play action off of that a lot easier. So you will not see play action out of a duo look. That's why you ever notice sometimes they'll get called for ineligible downfield. And you go, what the hell is that lineman doing down the field? What are you doing, you knucklehead? It's because they probably didn't understand that they checked at the line or they changed the play at the line. He's still running a duo play, and they checked out the play action. And by default, the offensive lineman, they got to know, all right, this is no longer duo. We're going play action. I cannot get beyond the line of scrimmage. So there you go. Yeah, play action pass. That's what Coach is talking about. Bingo. All right, man. Next play, we got this is against the Colts. This happens to us every time, Tim. We're going way over.
All good. We're talking ball.
So Christian Watson in motion here. Let's see if he settles back in at that wing. That's what we're talking about, Tim. See it?
Yeah, that's going to be Savion Williams this year.
I'm telling you, Savion there. Because here's the thing. When we talk about Matthew Golden, right? When we talk about Matthew Golden, we say he can play Z. That's what Christian does. However, Christian also does this in 12 personnel. Notice what we got. 1 running back, 2 tight ends. So this is 12 personnel, but with Christian kicking inside, it might as well be 13 personnel, Tim.
Yep. Now, and look at Indy loaded up, ready for run, and they still ain't going to do a damn thing about it.
Right. And here's the thing, too. I don't trust Matthew Golden to dig these guys out and play down there in the pit like this. I just don't.
No, but Williams probably.
Yes. So when you go to – I think we just answered the question. If he picks up it's a big if. If he picks up the playbook, he being Savion Williams, if he picks it up and doesn't miss a beat, then put him in Watson's spot in 12 personnel where you got some run calls, right? And
Absolutely.
let him kick inside like this. So, yeah.
Because that's the one thing Scoot doesn't get enough praise and credit for is his ability to block a tight end or block a tackle, a corner, a linebacker, all the way to the water cooler. You got to be able to do that in Matt LaFleur's offense in that role.
Definitely. Chuck Jagger says, prep that couch, Clayton. Oh, she's already got me a cover down there, but I'm going over tonight. I ain't making it to bed this evening. Greg Rice, thank you, Clay, Coach, and Doc. Hey, thank you, Greg. Thank you for the question, bud. Hopefully we got the full answer.
Hopefully Mandy gives you extra pillow or something for the couch,
That's what Lincoln's for, man. I can literally look at my Shep, the big one, and I go, Link, nap. And he goes on the couch. And I either lift my legs up and he lays under my feet and I just prop my feet up on him, or he'll go lay behind my head and I use him as a pillow. We'll be good, Tim. He'll keep me warm. All right, man.
Get ready to go.
All right, here we go. Another thing I want to point out, this is pistol. Notice we didn't say sidecar left, sidecar right. So this is what we would call this. Let's just call it out here. It would be 12 pistol strong right, Z wing is what I would call this, where you go Z wing left. Okay. And what that means is pistol is when the running back is directly behind the quarterback in a shallow shotgun set. And what makes this so valuable is, and Tim, we talked about this. Remember, we talked about this in the offseason last year. We said we try to identify a couple of things that teams may be looking to do more the upcoming season. Sean McVay started unveiling a lot more pistol going in. I'm like, Sean McVay and Matt LaFleur are like this, man. They're best buds. So I said I wouldn't be surprised if we break out some pistol. Lo and behold, we broke out pistol last year. And the reason it's so valuable is, remember we said if you're sidecar right, then 85% of the runs are going to go left. If you're sidecar left, 85% of the runs are going to go right. You're less predictable in the pistol set because you can run balance both directions if you want to go outside zone. It might as well be an ace set, which is a single back set when you're under center. So just want to point that out. That is that's a pistol. So we would call that, we call it 12 pistol, strong right, Z wing left would be the formation. And then we go into whatever it is, duo or what have you. Let's see if it's duo. We see two double teams.
Yep.
See them, Tim?
Yep.
Setting up like duo. Let's see if it ends with vertical.
Look at Scoot. Look at Scoot. Go back pre-snap. Hold on. Let's give Scoot his flowers. Watch him just be patient here. Watch his right hand. Go ahead, Sheed. All right. Bang. Next level. Love it.
Bro, just get the hell away, Sheed. I'm going to peel this guy's cap. Look at that block, too. Let's go, man.
Yeah.
Just getting in there, getting dirty. And look at now, go back to the running back now. I don't think it's duo because you didn't get a whole lot of vertical power there, you see, Tim. Like Tom tries to get in there. But can we just appreciate Josh Jacobs making two guys running into each other again?
Look at that, dude. He's dead to rights right here. Watch right here. You're dead. And he gets out.
Look at that. Does that not look like Barry Sanders' juke? Look.
Yeah.
Look at the feet.
Yep.
Be Rex Ryan for a minute. Look at the feet.
See, and that's the thing. We always say if you get flat-footed in the backfield, you're dead as a running back, right? But if you have footwork like this, where your feet really don't stop moving, like those feet are still moving when he's making that juke move. And that's why it's, 25 extra yards up the seam here.
That's a beautiful run, man. Beautiful run. One more time. Whoop, whoop.
Bye, Felicia.
And it pivot. Love it.
Let's go.
God, these unis they're so pretty, Tim. Those all whites are, oh, man. So here we go with a little pony package. We would call this 118 pony. The reason being a pony package is when you've got two running backs in the backfield. In this case, it's actually Jaden Reed. So this is 11 pony, what we would call 11 personnel, but we would call it 118 pony. Why do we call it that? 11 and 8, 118 pony. If it was Christian Watson back there, we'd call it 98 pony. All right. And you always work left to right when you're doing the call. Okay. So again, gun set, double sidecar, pony package. All right. You got two running backs in the backfield out of the gun set. That's what we refer to as the pony package. Look, he's going to cheat out, Tim.
Yep.
But he's coming right back. Little orbit. See it? Yep. So this 35, he's like, what the hell are they doing?
They have no idea. Houston has no idea what we're running right now.
Now let's see what we got here. This looks like a little zone left, right? So you only got one double team.
Look at the hat count, 3 on 2.
Yep. And Josh Jacobs, no wasted motion once again. Again, watch it run. Look at Sean Ryan, Tim. Watch Sean Ryan, right guard. Look at Nacho Libre. Get him out of here. Hell of a block right there, dude. Greg Rice says pro set. Love it, man. Pro set is when you're under center, right, with a split back. You go party. So way back in the day, that's where you ran the sweep out of for sure. But again, man, Josh Jacobs, can't say God love him.
Okay.
Notice the cheat motion here, Tim. Watch what happens to the backer as Jaden Reed goes over. Lightens that box.
Yep.
All right. Let's get the hat
count. You have to respect Reed.
Let's get the hat count. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Don't even count this guy right here, right? So they've only got 4 hats. 4 hats. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, really 5, but might as well cancel him out with this guy that we said wasn't a hat. So you got 4 on 4 here. Guess what? He is not accounted for. Josh Jacobs is not accounted for, right?
Him to go.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we go to the Jaguars game. Now, Malik Willis is in the game. We're going guns, sidecar left, strong right. Can't tell if there's another tight end or not off the screen, but you got Ben Sims over there attached as the big Y. So, sidecar left, what Coach say? Ryan might be our most improved line. I'm telling you, Coach, it was all over the tape last year, man.
Yep.
And, it's like, again, why did you go get Jordan Morgan the year before? Because Sean Ryan wasn't up to that level yet. When Sean Ryan emerges to that level, okay, now you got a little bit of depth. The problem was the injury bug got us. Now you add Aaron Banks. Now you add Anthony Belton. We've got the depth thing covered, and that's why we lost to the Eagles, in my opinion. That and turning the ball over. We got to protect the football. But I'm with you, man. All right, so we're going sidecar left, strong right, probably 11 personnel. Let's see if we can pick up on what it is here, guys. Watch the linemen. Little cheat motion. They're in man coverage, so you gathered that information. Bad snap. Great job handling it by Malik Willis. This just looks like just a little – we get a little power there. Did Elton pull? All right, we got our first power, Tim. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, actually, it might be counter. And you got to watch this with Josh Jacobs because it might be a power play call, but he cuts it back and makes it look like counter. But when we say power, guys, notice Elton Jenkins is pulling over. When we say vertical power means you're on the duo plays, you're not going over a gap. This is power where you're going over at least one gap, okay? Now, that's counter footwork, though. See how Josh Jacobs just didn't take it, Tim, and run to the right? He a little half step, and then he's looking to bounce it backwards. And in this case, you got a free runner. The hat count didn't look good. I don't want to dog on him too much because I think Malik Willis played really good football last year. However, if Jordan's the quarterback here, you're probably checking out of this and just go power right.
I was just going to say, Jordan's going to can when he sees 5.
Right. Because the reason being is you're losing a hat here because he's pulling to the right. And if it is a true counter play ready to come back, right, then what's your hat count, Tim? This guy's washed out. You can't count him because that one X's out, right? So let's count their hats. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And now let's count ours. We've got 1. We just got 1, right? 1 freaking hat and Rasheed Walker. That's it. Maybe Josh Myers if you want to count him. So 2. So it's 4 on 2. That's where it's on the quarterback to come to the play. Hey, can. You want to go to a pass, set up a screen, or hey, let's check. The word might be, for power instead of coming out of counter. Let's go to power. Maybe it's just think of some possum, right? Possum. All right, we're going power instead of counter, and the reason being is because you don't have that hat count. Malik Willis, that's what's lacking in his game because again, like you said, Tim, he had 10 minutes to learn this offense. So this should be a blown up play, right? You're looking to kind of set up counter, but what?
Look what we have here.
Yep. And a coach he is, man. You see him, poor bastard. Whew. Look, helicoptering on the ground. Right here. That's what you're looking for right there, fellas. Somebody screenshot that. Pause it, screenshot.
Somebody come look at this.
Pause it, screenshot it, tag me in a tweet. We might have a prize for you. Right
Write it down. Take a picture. I don't give a.
Hey, it's a family program. Look at Scoot, though. Like you said, man, getting downfield. Throw your hands up. Don't get called for a hold.
Yep.
Right?
Just kind of get in the way, not really grabbing.
All right. Next play, Tim. You were in the stands depressed right here, sir. But we still got a good play out of it.
I got to keep reliving this. I do remember this, though. This was one of the bright moments from that game.
Tim's going to start signing a waiver saying, look, anytime this game pops up on the show, I have the right to just leave the show. All right, let's see what we got here. Another pistol set, okay? So pistol, again, the running back directly behind a shallow shotgun in the quarterback. We're going strong left. Looks like 12 personnel. So we would call this 12 pistol, strong left. All right, let's see if there's any motion. There is not. It's kind of setting up like almost look like a little counter. This just, let's see, what do we got here? I think this is just inside zone.
Yep.
Some might say it's gap, but again, look at Tucker getting in there. You see that? Watch Tucker. Look at Tucker. Clean that out right there. Keep the legs driving. Watch his legs. Look at 85. Drive. Clean it up. Look at Ben Sims, too, laying the boom. Ben Sims with a pancake block. Let's go.
How about Josh Jacobs with the sick, nasty jump cut right here? Look at boop. See ya.
Yeah. Coach Lynn said we got a Jordan Morgan sighting. Where's he at? Oh, 77, right?
Yeah. Little left guard, yeah.
Yeah. Look at him cleaning up inside, sealing off the backside. All right. I like it. Good eye, Coach. Good eye. Coach says he thinks it's still duo. Could be, right? You got double for sure, right? You see the double teams, 2 double teams. You just didn't get the vertical power element. So, yeah, I can see duo there. You see what I'm saying, Tim? You got 2 doubles, sure. 63, 77, 74, 75.
For sure. Hey, go back pre-snap real quick right there. sneak preview of the 2025 O-line possibly. Big E at center.
Let's see.
You would take Morgan, move him to right guard. You got Banks at left guard. That would be your difference. And then obviously, no Sean Ryan. But that's pretty much at least what your tackles and your center is going to look like.
That's a great point, Tim. That's it, right?
That's it.
Aaron Banks at left guard, kick Jordan Morgan over to right guard.
Yep.
That's if Jordan Morgan doesn't beat Sheed out for left tackle. That's awesome. Good job catching that, Coach. Appreciate you, man, that you seen Jordan Morgan on this play. Nice little sighting.
Yes. The coach was going to see it, right?
Always. Beautiful run. Again, great blocking there by Tucker Kraft. He made that happen. So anybody says, Tucker Kraft can't block, though.
Is that your boy Kirby Joseph back there? Or what's his name? Joseph?
It may have been. Let's see.
Trying his damnedest to look how hard Josh Jacobs made it for him to tackle him at the end of that play. Look,
it was Kirby Joseph. Yeah, he had to jump on his back, didn't he?
Yeah.
How far did he carry him? Let's see. So he picks him up at the 50, carried him 12 yards.
38.
Took him 12 yards, didn't he? My man. You gotta love that. Kirby Joseph, listen, man, can't stand the dude as a person. Hell of a football player, plays the game hard. Josh Jacobs just took him for a ride for 12 yards, boys. Look at this. He should have charged him. Should have charged him an Uber fee.
Yeah, seriously.
Look at that. Picking him up at the 50 and drive. 10 yards plus, Coach said. Unbelievable.
Wow. Love it.
Now, I want to say this. It's funny, but it ain't. Tucker Kraft's so fired up with his block, he going to do a little baseball slide at the end, watch him celebrate. Yeah. And he takes Christian Watson out. What are you doing, bub? Stop it.
These kids, man, you got to get these young guys. Quit playing around out there.
AFAM caught it. Kraft almost ended Watson's career with that slide.
They caught that in the film room on Monday. Right?
It. They said, Tucker.
Tucker, what are you doing, man?
$10,000 fine. We won't tell the media.
He said, I'm sorry. I thought there was a Busch Latte over there. I wanted to go grab one real quick.
That's just how he plays the game. It's kind of like Brett Favre back in the day. Brett Favre would tackle people. They told him, stop doing that after a touchdown.
Or he'd pick guys up and give them a ride.
Right. Exactly. All right, here we go. Pony package. Got the jersey pulled up, but that's Jaden, I believe. So this is 118 pony, strong right, but notice the Y is going to cheat left. Is it going to be zipper? Looks like zip. Oh, look at this setting up. So again, how many times have we shown zipper or just regular motion and you take Kraft out of the play? Instead, Kraft's going to chop down and he's going to block back, Tim. Love it.
Circle that foot right there on Tucker.
Right here?
Yeah, look at that. Rocking them number 11 Jordan cleats right there. Tucker's got some swag, man.
Oh, yeah, he does. He got that. He's from the country, though, right? So you can't say street cred. He got holler cred. That's what we call it.
He got that holler cred.
Holler cred. So let's see who the ball goes to. And this is a perfect example, I bet, with Jaden Reed being in this pony package, 118 pony. See if they fake a handoff to Jaden Reed. They do. Look at this. Look at the ball work right here from Jordan Love. This is not easy to do, Tim.
Yep.
You got to take the snap, right? Let's watch it here a couple times. You got to take the snap, fake there, hand off there, right?
Yep.
That's not easy, man.
118 pony again.
Yep. 118 pony. Who's that flying over blocking down? Is that our boy Josh Myers? Good rep by Josh getting in there. All right.
We found I think we found all 7 of his good reps.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at the sift block off the cheat stop there. Look at Tucker Kraft come over, Tim. Watch Tucker.
Yeah.
Bang.
Hello. Left shoulder right into the sternum.
That's great, man. And then now let's just focus on Josh Jacobs here. Watch the spin move. He's gonna hit the B button. Whoop. That looks like Emilio playing Madden on rookie right here, hitting that circle. Right? Look at him.
Oh
Whoop.
man. Beautiful. And hey, look what happens to arguably the best middle linebacker in the NFL on this play, too, by the way. Watch Fred Warner here.
Oh, yeah. Washed completely out.
Washed completely out.
Yeah. Myers gets a piece of him and Devondre Campbell, didn't he?
Sure did.
Yeah. Now, what's Sean Ryan on this play? Right, 75. Look at wash him all the way across the formation. Great job, man. Great job.
Love it.
Yeah, beautiful play. All right, we're way over, Tim. I think we got 2 more plays in us. 2 more.
We got it.
Yep.
How many are left?
I don't know, Tim. You never know about these things. Here we go. Ace set. We're going ace. It looks like it's probably ace 11. 11 ace strong right is what it is here. So we're under center. Josh Jacobs in the backfield against Seattle. Oh, look at the fake jet sweep. You see it, Tim?
That's my favorite jet sweep, the fake one.
Yes, sir. Just fake it and give the ball to number 8. Let's see number 8. That kind of looked like a little duo. I could be wrong. Let's watch it again. Try not to focus on the motion this time. Let's watch the offensive lineman. Double, right? Vertical displacement.
Great play fake by Jordan.
Look at Elton, dude. You see Elton?
Yeah,
Watch
buddy.
Elton right here. Watch Elton. Double. Watch the safety.
Dang.
That made that happen, man. Made the play.
You know, I talk a lot about the jet motion and everything, but the fake jet sweep only works if on occasion you're known to actually hand it off on the jet sweep. You got to set plays like this up. They're not going to fall for the sugar if they don't believe you're going to run it. So this was another example of a great timing of a play call here with Matt LaFleur's offense.
Yeah. Who was it that got that block down there inside? Was that Sheed? Yeah, Sheed. Washed him out just in time. See that? Watch Sheed just stay with this guy. Walk him around the turnstile.
Oh, yeah.
Counts as a pancake, baby. All right.
Take it.
Next play. Now we're against the Saints. Looks like
we know what time it is.
This is 12 ace, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, balanced look. I love this formation because you can do anything, Tim. You can go stretch right. You can go stretch left. You can attack with duo like we've been seeing. You can do everything right here, man. You got 6 guys on the line of scrimmage. You can get a little pre-snap motion. Christian, look at the fake. Look at Christian sell the fake jet. And what are we doing here? Is it duo? It's duo. See the double? It looks like outside zone, doesn't it? But look, though. Double, get to the next. Hey, it might be called outside zone there. Coach, what do you see here? Duo or outside zone, man? Because you're definitely going C gap here. See how everybody's moving to the right, Tim?
Yep.
Great. I mean, just great mobility by the offensive line. Here's the play, Tim. Watch it again, boys. Notice for everybody. He's trying to hit him with his purse.
Yeah. What was that? Come on,
hit him
man.
with his Caleb Williams purse there, little change purse.
So he gets stiff-armed, and then he tiptoes and gets 3 extra yards at the end, too.
Right. Look at that. This was fun. All right. I think Coach Lynn said both. It was outside zone and duo. There you go. Love it. We'll take it. All right, Tim. That's it, man. That's Chalk Talk. That is Chalk Talk Josh Jacobs, man. Was that not fun? We have what?
Man, we could have did a 2.5 hour episode on Josh Jacobs.
And we only had 1 of his touchdowns. And didn't he finish with over 10 touchdowns? So
10 rushing, yeah.
Yeah. So we had only 1 touchdown in that clip. How cool was that? And we just tied up 45 minutes, almost an hour, darn near an hour. So, yeah. Awesome. Parting thoughts, Tim. I'm going to go save my marriage. You got anything else to add to this?
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. No, this was great, though, Clayton. I'm glad we made it halfway through the through the list, and then we got the Chalk Talk in. That's the most important thing. A lot of things to be excited about as we head into training camp here in a few weeks, right? And I think you're right. I think Josh Jacobs makes a pretty good argument for being the number 1 most important Packer on this team, definitely going into this season, I think. Certainly on the offensive side of the ball, too.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a defensive guy. I think X would be my number 1 pick.
It's funny because I am better versed, I guess is the right way to say it, on the offensive side of the ball. Like I understand the offensive side better than the defensive side. I'm more passionate about like what I know about the offensive side of the ball, like calling out the personnel, calling out the specific sets. Like tomorrow we're going to do Christian Watson Chalk Talk, and we'll throw in route combinations. We'll actually list out the actual passing concepts as he's a part of in these specific plays. But man, defense is like, I love watching defense, man. Defense is so much fun to watch. So Chuck Jagger, sorry to let you down. He said this show did not suck today. Well, we'll try to be worse tomorrow, Bob. Appreciate you. Chuck also said, thanks, Mandy, in all caps. Hey, listen, everybody in the chat, y'all are awesome, man. Thank you so much. If you're new here, thank you for taking time out of your holiday weekend to hang out with us here at PTA. We'll be back tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. If you want to support the show, you can join our Patreon group, patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access, or you can just hit that join tab at the bottom here on YouTube, become a member of the PTA Posse. You get custom emojis, stuff like that. It lets us know when you're a member, all those things like Clint, Armchair Quarterback. We could tell he's a member. We could tell Bates is a member, all these folks that are members. Again, I prefer you join the Patreon group because you get more bang for your $3. I know you're breaking the bank, right? But that's where you'll get these articles that we wrote. I'm also going to upload those Chalk Talk videos to those articles so you can go back and watch them yourself, all that stuff. So really, really appreciate everybody's support. And listen, if you don't have anything to support, hit that like button, subscribe. That is free of charge. That does more than you know. And again, you just being in the house tonight, talking ball with us, we greatly appreciate it. We will see y'all tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack Go.
There we go.
Bye, guys.